You've been there. You get locked into this incredibly intense staring contest with a baby, and you just have to wonder, what is possibly going on in their head? Well, today we are going to decode the incredible science behind that stare, and believe me, the secrets it reveals about how a mind is built are absolutely mind-blowing. So picture this. You're at the grocery store, just minding your own business, and then you feel it. A pair of eyes are locked right onto you. And it's not just a quick glance. It's this intense, unblinking stare coming from a baby in a shopping cart. It's kind of funny, maybe a little awkward, but you can't help but be totally fascinated. You start to wonder, right? Are they judging your choice of cereal? Are they contemplating the mysteries of the universe? Or is there just nothing going on? Is it a complete blank slate, an empty hard drive just waiting for data? Well, let me tell you, the truth is way more incredible than any of those possibilities. That stare, it is not passive. It is not blank. It is one of the most powerful and sophisticated neurobiological radars in the known universe. And it is actively working, right in that moment, to build a human mind from scratch. So let's dive in. We're going to explore the evolutionary hack that basically forces you to care for them. We'll look at the two powerful systems their brain uses to find faces in the first place. We'll see how they're basically tiny scientists, and maybe most shocking of all, how they might actually be judging you. Let's get into it. So, at its very core, a baby stare is a brilliant tool for survival. I mean, human babies are born incredibly vulnerable. The scientific term is altricial, which just means they're completely dependent on us for everything. So evolution gave them a superpower. And that superpower has a name, the baby schema, or Kinchin schema. It's this specific set of features. You know the ones. The big head, the huge eyes, the high forehead, and those chubby cheeks. These features act like a biological key designed to unlock a very specific response in the adult brain. In short, they are biologically engineered to be cute and to hack right into our programming. So what does this hack actually do? Well, when you look at a baby with these features, the reward centers in your brain, like the nucleus accumbens, light up like a Christmas tree. This triggers a release of oxytocin, which you've probably heard of as the love hormone or the bonding hormone. It's this powerful neurochemical that just makes you feel good. It lowers your stress, and it powerfully motivates you to protect and care for that baby. And this creates this amazing feedback loop. The baby stares at you, which triggers oxytocin in your brain. That oxytocin makes you smile, coo, and feel all warm and connected. The baby senses this, feels safe and secure, and so it stares more, which releases even more oxytocin in both of you. It's this beautiful, self-reinforcing cycle of bonding that pretty much guarantees the baby gets the care it needs to survive. Okay, so their cuteness gets our attention, but how does their brain even know to look at us in the first place? Well, it turns out their brain comes with some incredible pre-installed software based on what's called a two-process theory of face perception. So, scientists propose that infants have two totally separate systems for seeing faces. The first is called conspec. Think of this as the factory-installed radar. It's an innate, really primitive system deep in the subcortical parts of the brain. Its one and only job is to detect general face-like patterns and automatically turn the baby's eyes toward them. And it's active from the moment they're born. Then, around 2 months old, a second system called ConLearn comes online. This is the visual database. It's a much more advanced system in the cortex that learns from experience. This is what allows a baby to start recognizing specific faces, like their mom's or dad's. So that initial radar, conspec, isn't looking for a detailed face. It's just scanning for a simple, top-heavy pattern. You know, more stuff on the top than the bottom, just like two eyes above a mouth. And studies have shown that newborns, some just minutes old, will track a paddle with this simple face pattern for way longer than one with a scrambled-up pattern. That's the built-in radar doing its job. Now, for a long time, we thought that second system, ConLearn, took many months to really develop. But some recent, absolutely groundbreaking fMRI studies on awake infants have totally flipped our understanding. They've shown that by just 2 months old, a key visual part of the infant brain already shows organized categories for things like faces, bodies, and scenes in a way that is startlingly similar to an adult brain. The brain is organizing its visual world far, far earlier than we ever imagined. Okay, so this brings us to a really crucial point. That baby staring at you isn't just a passive little observer absorbing pixels. No. They are an active scientist running complex experiments and gathering data at a truly furious pace. The philosopher Andy Clark put it perfectly. He said brains are essentially prediction machines. The number one job of any brain, whether it's in infants or in adults, is to build a working model of the world that can predict what's going to happen next. This minimizes surprise and makes everything more efficient. And what is a baby's main tool for this job? You guessed it, staring. So when a baby stares at something new, like your face, they're not just looking. They are actively calculating something scientists call information gain. Think of it like their brain is downloading a crucial software update. Your new and interesting face is a rich source of data that helps them reduce uncertainty and upgrade their mental model of what a human looks like. And this has some really profound consequences. One remarkable study found a direct link. Babies who were more driven by this kind of curiosity at 8 months old actually had higher IQ scores by the time they were 3.5. That intense stare is literally a brain hard at work, building its own intelligence. So, psychologists have this brilliant way to figure out what babies actually know, and it's called the violation of expectation paradigm. The logic is super simple. If you understand a rule, like gravity, you won't be surprised when a ball falls down, but you'll definitely be surprised if it suddenly floats up. Well, babies are exactly the same. They stare longer at things that break their own internal rules of how the world is supposed to work. Think of it like watching a magic trick. When a magician makes a coin vanish, you stare, because your brain is scrambling to figure out what just happened. An impossible event occurred, creating what's called a prediction error. For a baby, that long, intense stare after seeing something unexpected, like a toy car that seems to pass through a solid wall, is their brain working overtime, trying to debug its own code and fix the error in its model of reality. Okay, so we've established babies are hardwired to bond with us, their brains are built to find our faces, and they're tiny scientists calculating the universe. But what if I told you they were also making moral judgments about you? This right here is where it gets truly mind-blowing. Let's look at this famous experiment from the Infant Cognition Center at Yale. In this clever little setup, babies get to watch a puppet show. The main character is a red circle with googly eyes, and it's trying its absolute best to climb a steep hill. It struggles, it slides back down, it tries again. You feel for the little guy. Then, two other characters, just simple geometric shapes, come into the scene one at a time. First, a yellow triangle comes in from behind and gently pushes the circle all the way to the top of the hill. A helpful act, right? Then the scene resets, and a blue square comes in from above and rudely shoves the circle all the way back down to the bottom. A hindering act. So after watching this little drama unfold, the babies were presented with the two shapes, the helper triangle and the hinderer square. And the result was absolutely astonishing. Babies as young as 3 months old overwhelmingly reached for or stared longer at the helpful character. They weren't just observing shapes moving around, they were evaluating social interactions. They already showed a preference for nice, helpful behavior and an aversion to antisocial behavior. That baby staring at you isn't just gathering data on your face, it might be making a character assessment. And the importance of this intense visual engagement doesn't just stop in infancy. The simple act of staring and then following someone's gaze actually lays the foundation for some of our most critical human abilities. This all leads to a huge developmental milestone called joint attention. This is that magical moment when a baby stops just looking at you and starts looking at what you are looking at. It's the moment the two of you share a focus on a third thing, which is really the foundation for any shared experience. So why does that matter so much? Well, research shows a direct, powerful link. The more an infant engages in this gaze following and joint attention, the larger their vocabulary is by age 2. It makes perfect sense, right? When you look at a ball and you say ball, the baby follows your gaze, connects the sound to the object, and learns a word. That early stare is a fundamental stepping stone to language itself. And this research also has incredibly important clinical implications. Scientists have found that studying these gaze patterns can give us early clues to certain developmental conditions. For instance, atypical patterns like a sticky gaze, where an infant has trouble looking away from one thing to look at something new, can be an early biomarker for conditions like autism spectrum disorder, sometimes identifiable as early as 6 months. And that allows for much earlier support and intervention when the brain is at its most changeable. So the next time a baby locks eyes with you from across a room, I want you to remember what you're really seeing. You're not just looking at a cute face. You are witnessing a brain being built in real time. It's a survival mechanism, a data gathering mission, a moral judgment, and the foundation of language, all happening right there behind that intense, unblinking stare. So what should you do? Smile back, Because when you do, you're not just being polite, you are providing crucial data. You are closing that powerful biobehavioral feedback loop. You are actively and profoundly participating in the beautiful, complex, and utterly miraculous construction of a human mind. And now I have to ask you, have you ever been completely and utterly defeated in a staring contest with a baby? Let us know your story in the comments below. And hey, if you found this as fascinating as I did, don't forget to like this explainer and subscribe for more deep dives into the science of our world. Thanks for watching.